making cars moves us. What moves you?
The GAO has already met with the governor and some senators. While here, they will meet with Guam EPA, OPA, GFD, GPD, GDOE, DPW, DPHSS, SHPO, the port, GPA, GWA, and the CCU. They're slated to tour the Northern Wastewater Treatment Plant as well. Guam Buildup Office Director Mark Calvin.
In that audit, the Senate said GAO go out and validate and look at infrastructure requirements outside the fence line in Guam as it relates to the Pacific realignment.
Calvo says one of their main goals is to evaluate GovGuam's ability to fund the needed infrastructure improvements off base. This is where Calvo says they made sure to present one unified voice to the GAO, making it clear that GovGuam needs help in funding infrastructure improvements that are required for the buildup.
Again, the message is we expect the Department of Defense to fund their share of the impacts outside the fence line.
Calvo says that the major questions that GAO asked have to do with what the external challenges are for GovGuam with regards to planning for the buildup and funding the necessary infrastructural improvements.
We identified that in unison that the external challenges is an obvious one, and that is mixed messages from the Department of Defense and the U.S. government in commitment to the buildup. There's been a number of changes, a lot of setbacks.
They asked the legislature the same questions. Speaker Judy Wonpat responded saying that it was difficult to plan when Guam's government doesn't know yet what the federal government's plans are. This is further exacerbated by the fact that plans keep changing. The buildup was originally to bring 8,000 Marines and 9,000 dependents to Guam, but now those numbers have been scaled down to 5,000 Marines and 1,300 dependents.
So it's kind of hard to plan. And when we told them that, can you imagine if we had planned at the height, at the beginning of all this discussion, when we saw what businessmen have done in preparation for the military buildup, we saw what happened also when the governor wanted to borrow monies to pay for income tax returns, and that we were counting on monies coming in as a result of the military buildup. I mean, we did especially that where we made all the investment and then nothing happens. Where is that going to put our government in?
The speaker says she recommended a full-blown congressional hearing on the Guam military buildup that would involve all stakeholders, including the leaders of Guam, in order to make sure that everyone is on the same page. She pointed to examples in the past when they dealt with federal officials who didn't seem to be very well briefed on the Guam buildup.
We would get federal officials on the other end of a teleconference basically saying, and speaking very slowly, thinking that we don't speak English, and then would say things like, oh, so how do you think the country of Guam, will handle this? We think that ambulances are really important, that you should have that because it's going to help. I mean, that's the kind of individuals that, the government have been working with.